Allow me to share a brief story with you. I'm going to read it so that I won't write. My love affair with the Point began long ago, long before it became my home. Growing up, I would listen to the stories my father shared about his life in the Point. What amazing stories they were. Liberating coal from neighbors' yards, alternating sides, that's what happens when you're half French, half Irish, in the weekly battles, religious processions full of pomp and ceremony, concerts in the park, bonfires in the street, fish and chip joints everywhere, St. Patrick's Day, or any other festivity when more than two Irishmen would get together. To a highly imaginative kid, I thought the Point was like a cross between the Vatican, the Wild West, and Disneyland. It's weird because while local newspapers were writing about impoverished kids, the underprivileged kids of the Point, I was at home thinking, if only you're good enough, if only you're lucky enough, if only you pray enough, maybe you'll end up living in the Point too. So everything was screwed up. What have I discovered in the Point through the years? Keep speeches short at the Hall of Recognition. We must be the only neighborhood in Canada that has a national anthem. Long live the Harlem Shake. Mary, I'm sorry, but Tommy Burton was the worst driver in the world. But he had incredible charm. For an only child, I discovered this. It's apparently quite normal for a mother to go through all her kids' names before she hits the right one. Father, don't listen. There is more drama and intrigue in a church bingo hall than all the soap operas rolled up. This was the shock for me. Most Pointers can not only tell you where so-and-so lived, but the address of their grandparents, the identity of their first fling, when they got married, and every single family scandal going back several generations. Poverty might mean avoiding the salesman from St. Lawrence Street who comes to collect every week. But it did not mean a lack of love, respect, determination, or caring. I've been blessed with so many mentors here in the Point that if I mentioned each of them, this speech would resemble the never-ending story many of us remember from a few years back. See, it's ingrained in our memories. Everybody's talking about it. Last story now. About 37 years ago, I was team advisor here at the Y. After walking down Hatch on a bitter cold December night, Mrs. C was there to greet me at the counter as usual. She looked troubled and asked me what I was going to do. Okay, obviously I missed something. Prompting her for details, she told me that there was no plans for a Christmas party that year for the kids. Well, seeing as Christmas was only a few days away, I stated there is really not much we can do. Wrong answer, apparently. With a gentle smile, she asked me if I would be in charge, if we could pull it off. Next thing I knew, I was being interviewed on TV and radio, calling for donations of gifts, clothing, food. 24 hours later, the responses come pouring in. Can you remember this? Mrs. C dispatched unwilling volunteers all over the city for pickups. The front counter was busier than Mac's taxi. And in fact, I think they were picking up for us too. The night finally came. Cursing elves had been wrapping mountains of gifts for hours. The gym was a winter wonderland. Mrs. Barrett was looking through that window over there. The kids' eyes were gleaming. Santa, a.k.a. David Barrett, split his Christmas hats. And the food rivaled the best restaurant downtown. I mean, how many times do you have a party with Gibby sending food? Lesson learned, never say no to a pointer. Never underestimate what a bunch of dedicated pointers can accomplish. And may I note that everyone wore plaid nightgowns that year. I think we have received 700 of them. On a more serious note, I'd like to highlight the scholarships offered by the Hall of Recognition. For most attendees, the recipients are deserving cute kids who remain mostly anonymous, having taught at Face, the old Montreal High, for very long. I know what these bursaries mean to the kids. It means much more than having money to pay school fees, bus passes, buying a laptop, or textbooks. It means that a whole community is behind them, encouraging them and believing in them. One of our former recipients is here with us today. Lynn, would you stand up? Dr. Lynn Rankin. For all of you that have family doctor, why not after Glenn will take it in. The point has changed. We can't be in denial. And it's true, the point has changed. Who would have thought that homes would sell for over $500,000? Condos are everywhere. We can't force them, that's not legal anymore. Our neighbors might be yuppies, but one thing has not changed. The point's determination, caring, commitment to building an ever stronger community. The point's changed, it's better. By the way, mark your calendar, sister, I'm doing this for you. St. Gabe's Bazaar is on November 1st. As a child, I thought the point was a magical place. As an adult, I know it. Thank you.